can show you some trash. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. Today, it is not a dark and stormy night, but I'm in that mood, and I wanted to return to Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. I think this is the 8th video I've done about Beyond Belief. I had no idea when I started talking about Beyond Belief, when I talked about the one episode that scared me the most as a kid. It was the second video I'd ever done, and I had no idea that all of you would resonate so much with that being a series and want me to cover more, so here we are. We're just gonna keep going until one day we have covered them all. I'm losing my voice a little bit today, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. I'm sorry. I have my tea. It's all good. We're just gonna watch an episode of Beyond Belief and chill out together.
They say the truth will out, but is it always that easy to see?
This is season 2, episode 8. We're covering it because the last story, I think it's the last story, I haven't actually watched this episode, but one of these stories is called The Hooded Chair, which is a segment that's been requested a lot. That's what we're gonna watch, as well as the other 4 stories, and you know how it goes.
Can you separate truth from fantasy?
We're gonna have to guess which ones are real and which ones are fake. You can never guess, but we do our best, and sometimes we get lucky.
When we attempt to separate reality and illusion, it's best not to trust our senses.
I feel so confident in my ability to play this game with you, Jonathan Frakes, considering that Jonathan Frakes is like, you're not gonna be able to know shit on your own.
The line in the lower segment is definitely longer than the line in the upper one, but let's look at the truth. They're exactly the same length.
Oh, I thought he wasn't gonna put the other line back and just take it down and be like, they're both the same length, you're gonna have to trust me.
In order to tell the difference between reality and illusion, you have to read between the lines.
I love his dad jokes. They never get old.
Anyone who's ever visited a theme park knows how real they can make animatronic figures these days.
That reminds me of, has anybody ridden the giant King Kong ride? The King Kong Skull Island ride at Universal Studios? They have a gigantic King Kong animatronic, and it is just fascinating to look at. It's so lifelike.
Would certainly earn the admiration of the early pioneers in this field. People like, for instance, Dr. Frankenstein.
So this first episode is very ominously announced to us as being akin to Frankenstein before we learn that the episode is called Kirby. Well, you know, this segment. They're not individual episodes. You know what I mean.
For this fantasy factory located somewhere in the outskirts of Hollywood,
That animatronic without a face is terrifying.
meet Ted Beeman. He's the one wearing the glasses.
Hi guys.
Tired too, Kirby? Yeah.
This man is so absorbed in his work, he's talking to robots.
Is he ready?
I'm still having some problems.
Great.
And then his boss runs in, I guess, and he's just like, hey, you've been working on this piece of very complicated machinery for too long. Make it work now.
Time is up! You know, you're one weird dude, Beeman.
Jeez, don't make fun of the guy for doing a job that's gonna make you money.
Well, don't think I don't hear you talking to these things in here like they were really alive.
I would totally talk to those very real-looking animatronics like they're real. I talk to inanimate objects all the time. Right, guys?
Can't let you go. You're like selling a friend.
Oh, he doesn't want to sell the robot. He was lying when he said it wasn't ready. The robot is his friend. All right.
See you in the morning, old buddy.
He looks kind of terrifying when he's turned off. He looks unalive. I know he's a robot, but you know what I mean.
In the corridors of Hollywood, they still talk about what happened that night.
Beeman!
Oh no, is this guy gonna die?
$500,000 pile of worthless junk.
I've watched this show enough to know that you shouldn't insult it, sir.
Okay, let's put you away, huh?
Uh-oh, you broke it. Uh-oh, it's gonna break you. That was your escape plan? Climb up the very flimsy stairs to a locked door? The stairs are on wheels. This is a terrible idea. That's unfortunate.
What happened?
Owner's dead.
Kirby, what did we say about killing people?
No, that's impossible. I pulled your driver board.
Plot twist, he didn't have his driver board in him, so he shouldn't have been working at all, so he really was alive. Horrifying.
Did Ted's creation really kill Perry?
I like that they're literally using the same exact prop from the story in the room with Jonathan Frakes. Like, I'm just picturing Jonathan Frakes being like, did this story really happen? Did this robot gorilla kill a dude? And then the robot gorilla just, like, stands up and, like, starts, like, ruining everything on the set.
Did he actually come to life on his own?
My head's too swimmy to think about all that right now, sir.
We'll find out if this story is true or false at the end of our show.
Alright, submitted for your approval the first story. Now let's move on to the second story.
The saying opposites attract isn't just some cliche, it's elementary science.
So after a brief science lesson from Jonathan,
The next story is about magnetic attraction between a man and a woman.
he segues into a story that's about, like, romantic attraction.
An attraction so strong, it defies explanation.
I now just really want to see Jonathan Frakes host, like, like a romantic drama. Like he's the narrator on, like, some, like, rom-com anthology. I would love that. In this fictional rom-com anthology, in my mind, Jonathan Frakes not only hosts it, but he has the same, like, hosting style as Beyond Belief, where he cuts in randomly to talk about the couples. He's like, does Troy really like Jennifer? Or is this truly just a summer fling?
Look at that. A gorgeous girl in a miniskirt who's in trouble.
I only help girls that are hot and in trouble.
Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
She wasn't wearing a miniskirt, she'd be on her own.
Did you ever think she might be breaking into the house?
Yeah, girls can break and enter too. Equality.
I locked myself out.
So this girl has apparently locked herself out, or so she says. So this dude, who's very infatuated, is like, I'll break in and get your keys for you.
I didn't even know how to break into a house.
So they then go into the house. I don't know why they needed to also go into her house, but her house is this weird mix of terrifying and cool. Like, the part of my personality that doesn't want to die in a horror movie would never live there, but also the goth girl in me would totally live there.
Oh, hi. We didn't hear you coming.
She pulled those drinks out of her ass? How'd she get those so fast?
Do you live here alone?
No, I live with my parents.
Here's to misplaced keys and great new friendships.
Friendship. That's what he's after when he's asking who she lives with. Fishing for her to say that she has a boyfriend. Is the twist gonna be that she's dead? Because that's gonna be a real bummer for this guy.
Do you go to school around here?
No, not anymore.
Because you're dead.
What kind of music do you like?
Donna Summer, the Bee Gees.
I guess this is supposed to be a clue, as I'm guessing, because I haven't seen this, but, like, I assume her liking 70s music is supposed to be a tip-off that she's not from this era because she is passed on. But I listen to 70s music all the time, so wouldn't it be funny if you just thought every person that liked old music was a ghost?
What was your name again?
Thank you very much for your help.
That's not your name.
Yeah, she's a little weird. That's what I like about her.
This poor soul.
The next day I insisted we take the same jogging route.
What happened to this house? Hey!
The house.
We were inside just yesterday and it was like new.
Not this house.
It's such a cliche. The show uses it so often where it's like, that house has been demolished for a century now.
Maybe we're on the wrong street.
You must be.
It's a trigger warning for self-unaliving.
This house has been closed up ever since a young girl committed suicide in it 20 years ago.
The girl has not been with us for over 20 years, let's say. And to prove it to these guys, the realtor or whoever this guy is that's responsible for the house offers to take them inside to the even creepier looking house now.
That's where our glasses were.
Hey guys, the floor. Come here.
So first, the perfect footprints that are obviously their footprints, and then the rings on the table, as if it would create such a prominent mark that would still be there the next day.
Look at the floor.
And then everything starts to get kind of Thanos snapped away, and they run out, and that's the end.
Maybe they had their streets confused and actually had visited a similar house on another block.
Yeah, they just, like, round the corner one block, and the girl's like, hey, you guys want to listen to some Donna Summer?
Or have we constructed a house of lies?
All right, that's story 2. Let's go move on to story 3.
This is a stamp used by some police departments to mark their casework as solved.
It just makes me think of playing Ace Attorney. Objection! It's not exactly the same, but that's how my brain works.
Many crimes remain a mystery forever.
I love when they cut to the secondary camera. Okay, let's solve a case.
Maybe it's because I'm a cop, but I like it when the beaches are clean and free of litter.
What are you talking about?
Especially dead bodies.
I like it when the beach has no litter on it because I'm a cop and sometimes dead bodies are on the beach. That is one, super dark, but two, super stupid.
I've seen her a couple of times running on the beach with her dog.
That is an incredibly useless tidbit. That is not gonna help you catch the murderer. If that helps him catch the murderer, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I wonder why he took off his shoes.
Maybe he didn't want to leave shoe prints.
So his footprints that would have, like, potential DNA would be better? I mean, you probably couldn't collect any kind of DNA, but, like, how would that be better?
I probably should have stayed out of this one. It was literally too close to home. But like I said, I don't like people who litter my beach.
I only care about cases when they're pertinent to me.
How was your relationship?
So he goes and he interviews the boyfriend.
I didn't like this guy at all, but I guess we were even. His dog didn't like me.
See, the dog doesn't like him, so he sucks.
I guess he doesn't like cops.
Does anybody really?
I hated the pretty boy and his mutt, but I wasn't sure he was a murderer.
He's like, that guy has nice hair and a dog. I don't trust him.
Drop this in evidence for me, would you? Save me a trip.
All right. Take it into him tomorrow morning.
The coworker's like, hey, can you do this one thing for me? And he's like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm an LA cop and I am immensely unhelpful. How does he, as a police officer, make enough money to live in that place? Is there like some severe corruption going on in that police department? Looks like Malibu. No one lives in Malibu.
It was like all my other dreams.
He has a nightmare about the crime happening. Patricia Arquette from Medium style.
It was a panic attack.
Hurts, doesn't it? So he wakes up from his dream with, like, physical proof that he was there in the moment when the crime happened. Like, he's got sand in his shoes, he's all, like, scuffed up, as if he had been transported into that moment in his dream.
Every crook in the country carries a 9mm, but so do the cops.
So now he's just tampering with evidence. That's what he's doing. That's what this is. You can't just take a bullet from a crime scene and put it in your own gun.
I found the spent slug in the page that lists emergency numbers.
What?
A perfect match. I wake up tired every morning because I sleepwalk every night.
What?
The murderer was me.
So one, why did he have to do this demonstration? To prove that to himself.
Did this story of the cop who discovers his own guilt sound true to you?
Oh my god, that's so funny. I mean, it's not funny if it's a real story. I don't like to think that someone actually got killed, but like, this shitty, pretentious cop realizes that he himself is a murderer. He deserves it. He deserves to feel like he's a murderer, because he sucks. I mean, tons of cops are murderers, but like, you know what I mean. I know we're supposed to be saving our guesses until the end, but I think, I'm gonna go on record and say, this one I think is true, because I totally think that some shitty cop would try to get away with murder, fail, and then when he got caught, claim that he was just sleepwalking. That feels like something totally real that could happen, which means they'll probably say it was fake, but anyway.
Are we guilty of deception?
Let's move on to the next story.
Timers, alarm clocks, calendars, day planners, all geared to tell us where we have to be.
Where are all my ADHD homies that struggle to remember dates and time management and gets really stressed out when you know you have somewhere to be? I'm always worried that I'm gonna be late.
Sister Louise Pittman and her Mighty Rays of Joy have been singing together for the past 10 years at St. Mordecai's Baptist Church.
All right, so this next story takes place in a church. It centers around the members of a choir.
I will pray, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They rock. I love them.
I'll see you all on Sunday. First service, 8 a.m.
The choir director's like, all right, it's getting very late. Everybody be back here tomorrow. No one be late.
And on Thursday, rehearsal as usual, 7 p.m. sharp.
Completely off topic, but her lipstick matches her shirt perfectly. Completely iconic.
Be on time or lose a dime.
She's really strict. Damn. And none of them take her seriously, apparently. Damn.
The week passed quickly, and then it was Thursday.
So everybody's either late or forgetting.
Well, I think we're going to be early.
Hey, better early than late, right?
Early is on time is late. That's what my mom has said my entire life.
However, Lawrence was not having any luck at all.
Oh, poor Lawrence.
His engine refused to turn on.
It's something that happens to everybody, like car trouble, but like when it happens to you, doesn't it feel like the world is ending? If you have somewhere to be and you're like, I physically cannot get there anymore.
2 blowouts at the same time.
We better take pictures, man.
Sister Louise is gonna want proof.
Dang, they don't even think she'll believe them. I used to have a boss that would not let you ever call out sick unless you had a full-on doctor's note, as if like you woke up one morning with the flu and you were gonna like put your ass in the car and go to the doctor for them to write you a note for your boss.
And now we've got a big sinkhole. I mean, it's just not safe.
But that means I'm gonna have to take the long way around to St. Mordecai.
So even Miss Louise is stuck behind construction, so nobody's getting to the church. So why do I have a horrible feeling that something is gonna happen at the church and they're all gonna be glad that they weren't there? That feels like a very beyond beliefy thing to do.
What happened?
Gas main broke.
Oh my gosh.
Church blew up 10 minutes ago.
Yep, I was right.
It's the first time we've all been late in 10 years.
The church blew up? That's terrifying. And thankfully none of them were in there when it happened.
Praise the Lord.
So it's a literal miracle.
Is it mere coincidence that every member of the choir was saved on the same night? Or is it possible that a higher spirit was protecting this group of inspirational singers?
Similar things like that have totally happened to me in my life, so maybe I'm biased by thinking that that's totally a thing. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be guessing until the end, and I've already guessed 2 of them anyway.
Is it a work of fiction or gospel truth?
It would be kind of messed up if they were like, yeah, miracles can't happen, that's totally fake. I feel like they'll say it's true, because, you know, they don't want to be the person that says miracles can't happen. I think we've talked about something similar in a different episode.
Next, a chair comes complete with a rich history and a terrible curse.
All right, now we're at the last of the 5 stories. This is the one that was highly requested.
Do you believe in the power of a curse?
It's a very loaded question, isn't it?
And what about this unusually shaped chair?
The chair looks like a coffin.
It was originally designed for cold rooms to protect people from drafts.
Is that true? Oh, it really is a thing, dating back to medieval England. You learn something every day.
But as for this particular chair, protection is the last thing it provides.
When people were requesting it, I couldn't remember this episode, so I was trying to like envision what a hooded chair looked like, and I'd never heard of one before, and I couldn't, like my brain could not put together a picture of what a hooded chair would look like.
Like so many sons of the rich, he was spoiled rotten. That's why he was one of my favorite clients.
Yeet the rich.
But this time, George's obsession had gone too far.
So we start out with a rich guy who's already in his supervillain arc, apparently. Maybe that's a little dramatic, but he's acting very intense about this chair.
Put it right over there.
I'm no design expert, but if you've got those, like, bay windows like that, wouldn't you want to not just put a big, ugly chair in the middle and just completely waste the space? Wouldn't you want, like, I'd want, like, a reading nook. That's prime reading nook real estate.
You're not going to sit in that, are you?
I certainly don't believe in that ridiculous curse that's attached to it.
Okay, so there's a curse attached to the chair. What does the curse do? Just kill you? Like a standard run-of-the-mill curse?
This chair is over 300 years old, and there have been a lot of owners.
Man, he's kind of a dick, isn't he?
Jenny, the downstairs maid, let her curiosity get the best of her.
Oh no, this poor lady didn't ask for this chair to be there.
That chair is not for you to sit in, Jenny.
What?
It is for me and my guests.
This is so weird.
I just wanted to see what it felt like.
This feels like a parody of Beyond Belief.
Jenny was killed by a drunk driver while crossing the street.
What? Oh no, poor Jenny.
He refused to believe that the chair had anything to do with Jenny's untimely death.
So everybody that sits in the chair dies. It's a death chair.
The next week, his close friend Eric came to visit. He insisted on sitting in the chair over Mr. Talbot's strenuous objections.
Oh, I thought he was going to say that he made his friend, like, sit in the chair for an experiment. That would have been really dark.
The plane's engine suddenly failed for no reason, sending him to a fiery death.
No!
The chair had claimed another victim.
Okay, so 2 people have died. 2 people have died from sitting in the chair. Hope this chair isn't cursed. My brain just registered that I'm sitting in a chair. I've spent so much time sitting in the chair. If it was cursed, I would know by now. Just kidding, chair. I love you. So his friends and employees have died. His whole life is crumbling.
It was becoming too much for Talbot.
The chair does not fuck around, apparently.
I found the documentation about the chair.
God, what happened to this chair?
That's Napoleon.
What? It was Napoleon's chair?
Napoleon was in a farmhouse in Belgium planning strategy for his battle the next day. That battle was in a place called Waterloo.
It's the Waterloo chair! Oh, it hurts to laugh, but it's so funny. He looks so scared. I feel so bad now. God, that's terrifying. Napoleon kind of looks terrifying in like every painting of him though. And he wasn't even that short. He was a fake short person, which hurts me deeply.
You're not gonna get me.
Uh-oh.
I will not be destroyed by a chair.
He's really going Jack Nicholson and Shining on this chair. He's too slow. The chair's gonna get him instead. The chair made him have a heart attack. The chair just waited for the right moment and then just murked him. It's terrible.
Was it the same chair Napoleon sat on before he met his Waterloo? Or was that just another chair with a similar design?
That's some really shitty research on that other lady's part. If she was like, this is your chair, and it's just that she happened to see a painting with a similar looking chair. She didn't actually check up.
Maybe this story is totally made up and this chair has no curse at all.
Don't take a chance.
But then again, why take chances?
Don't tempt fate, Jonathan. The choice for them to use the props of the things that allegedly killed people in the stories is really funny, because it just feels like the producers are just trying to like kill Jonathan Frakes, which would be incredibly mean of them.
Now it's time to review our stories and reveal which ones were false and which ones were inspired by actual events.
All right. That's all 5 stories. Now we get to decide which ones we think are real and which ones we think are fake. Feel free to leave me your guesses in the comments section. I have no way of knowing if you watched ahead or not, so I'm just gonna take your word for it. And if you're lying, you can feel bad about it, I guess, in your own time.
The story of the animatronic gorilla with a mind of its own.
Do we think the animatronic gorilla murderer is true?
Hey, shut down. Come on. Shut down. Come on. Shut down.
I don't know, it doesn't have the same pizzazz as a Beyond Belief story that is supposedly true. So I'm gonna guess false.
It never happened.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Also, this was the late 90s. If an animatronic anything killed anybody, even if this happened now, that would be like major news that everybody would know about. But especially back then, like I feel like if this happened, all of us would know about it and still be talking about it today. And it would have been like on a true crime podcast somewhere. Anyway, it was fiction. So now what?
And how about the 2 men, the mansion, and the spirit of a woman they met?
Alright, the ghost lady in the house that was abandoned for like 20 years. This feels like something that they would want me to think is true. So I'm gonna say true. Side note, that actress looks so familiar to me, so maybe she's been in something since then, but I don't know, and I don't have the energy to look it up right now.
If you thought this one was based on a real event, we got you. It never happened.
Oh, it was fiction. Damn it. It was so ridiculous that it could have easily been fiction, but it felt like one of those things they wanted to be true. All right, so I'm 1 for 2.
And what about the detective who found that the murderer he was seeking was himself?
A-cab, I think this one's true. Evidence, I feel it in my bones.
Is there really a recorded case of a policeman who found himself guilty and then booked himself for murder?
Oh wait, the guy turned himself in? The cop turned himself in? Yeah, it's definitely false.
A similar event took place.
Oh my god, it was real? That's insane. I bet you anything a dude tried to just say he was sleepwalking to just get away with murder. Or I don't know. I'm not an expert on sleepwalking murderers. I guess we'll need to consult somebody who knows more about it than I do.
Now let's take a second look at the story of the church choir that mysteriously escaped tragedy.
I'm gonna say this one's true. It's a nice little story. It's also one of those things where it's like, stuff like that has definitely happened, whether you believe it's like divine intervention or not. This, like, stuff like this has happened to me. So you can't really say that it's definitively false across the board.
Yes, it did. This one took place.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that. I like when they have like positive messaging.
And how about the chair whose curse had been handed down from the days of Napoleon?
This one is the most memorable one, so I hope it's true. I mean, like, if it's false and it's been terrifying somebody out there for all these years, maybe it'll be cathartic if it's not true. But, like, this story feels like the centerpiece story. Like, feels like they would want this one to be true.
The tale of this chair was inspired by a true story.
Inspired by a true story. They hedge so much on the show, and we've already talked about it. You know, we're 8 episodes in to covering Beyond Belief, so like, and everybody else who's ever talked about Beyond Belief brings this up. Their research is flimsy at best, but you know, who cares? It's a fun show.
Who can blame one for finding the conclusions beyond belief?
I think I only got one wrong tonight. That's actually nice. I know when Natasha was here for the last Beyond Belief episode we covered, we somehow managed to get all of them right, I think, but there have been some episodes where I've been way off, so 4 out of 5, not bad. How did you do? Do you remember this episode? If you requested the hooded chair, I'm glad that I could finally fulfill your request. People have been asking for it for a while. Or maybe you have an interest in one of the other stories from this episode. If your favorite story on Beyond Belief is not in this video, I recommend that you check out the 7 other videos that I've done on Beyond Belief episodes, and if none of those have your favorite story, give me a recommendation. I believe there were 46 episodes in total, and maybe one day, hopefully, I'll be able to say that we've talked about all of them. But for right now, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. Thank you for showing up for the previous video I posted, the Twilight Zone. Like, you guys always show up for the videos, but like, that video did great. Like, as far as this channel is concerned, it did great numbers really quickly, and like a bunch of people subscribed for the first time ever, so thank you for that. I'll have to keep covering episodes of the Twilight Zone too. But yeah, if you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye! I shouldn't be singing. I'm already having, like, voice issues today, but now Waterloo is in my head.